Right now, there are 381 inactive cold cases in San Diego County. Joining me with what it takes to reopen, solve, and prosecute cases are my guests, Deputy District Attorney David Bost and District Attorney Investigator Tony Johnson. Now, Tony, you're a former detective sergeant with the San Diego Police Department. What qualifies as a cold case, and how does it become a cold case?
A case goes cold primarily when the initial team investigating the case has run out of leads and there's no further work to be done. At that point, they inactivate the case, it becomes cold and subject to future investigation as time permits and as resources allow.
We just see a little bit of video of the cold cases that have been solved here. David, what is the current status of cold cases in San Diego County?
Well, there's 5 that are actually active. That means they have court appearances that are waiting to be done. There's 25 that are under review. There's 35 that are actually been convictions since the cold case unit was formed in 2003. And there's about 380 that are inactive, which simply means that no one's reviewing the case right now, but it has made its way over to the district attorney's office where we can take a look at it.
What makes, David, prosecuting a cold case suspect, what makes the case so difficult?
Well, there's a number of things. One of the most important things is that witnesses either aren't available because they're deceased, their memories may fade because they're elderly, they may be more or less willing to cooperate in the investigation of the case. In a really recent case I had, the Moonlight Market case where Slimon Halak was killed, 3 of the police officers had actually died. And so we didn't have the police officers who had done the investigation.
So you've got the time and you've got the witnesses that aren't around. Now, Tony, what does it take to, when do you say, all right, we want to reopen this case?
We're constantly reviewing the cases that we have in light of new developments in evidence technology and also developments in whether or not maybe a witness might be willing to talk now versus not so much back then. And when we think we have an opportunity to solve a case, we look at it. So it's really based on solvability.
And how about advances in fingerprint technology and DNA? How is that improving the odds? I'll start with you, Tony.
Well, DNA, obviously, everybody's familiar with. There's the DNA from body fluids, and there's also touch DNA, which has become very sensitive. Fingerprint technology has improved as far as the computer
database, right?
Databases and programs that allow automated searches.
So that's helping things. How about, do you see this in prosecuting it? Is technology helping advance the prosecution of it, or just because we're more sophisticated?
Oh no, absolutely. There was DNA, we used to have sperm or blood or body tissue to make a comparison. Now, as Tony just mentioned, there's what's called epithelial or touch DNA, where even a skin cell that's left behind can be compared and you can identify a suspect. And everybody that's convicted of a felony now has their DNA put into a database where that can be run against the DNA that's recovered from a murder scene and see if there's any kind of match there that should be followed up on.
How can the public help when it comes to cold cases?
I think the important thing they need to know is that they're never closed. They're closed only after someone is convicted or a suspect is deceased. It's never too late to come forward. We've had cases where we literally stumble across a witness who maybe thought, well, you know, I didn't know that what I had could help you to solve this case. Some
valuable information. Now, Andrew Moore is a cold case that you would really like to solve. Tony, tell us a little bit about that.
Andrew Moore was murdered inside his apartment on 8th Avenue in September of 2000. There were no witnesses. His motorcycle was stolen and found about a month later in the area of 24th and C. There's a $50,000 reward out for any information that leads to the conviction of the perpetrators in that case. We'd love to have a lead in that case. We've been working on it for a long time. His parents are very involved. They visit from Pennsylvania every year, and we'd love to get some closure on that case.
Is there anything else that the public can do? Should they contact you? What should they do for either one of you, David? We'll start with you. What should they do if they say, hey, listen, I think I might have some information, but they don't know where to go?
Well, generally the process would be to call the police agency that's in their particular jurisdiction. Some people, of course, are in Escondido, some people are in La Mesa, some people are in the city of San Diego, others are in the sheriff's jurisdiction. And then that case will be reviewed by the police and then referred over to the district attorney's office. I'm certain Tony'd love to get calls on his case personally as well.
All right, so start there, start locally. All right, so David Bost and Tony Johnson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.